started raining, so I just packed up my campsite just in time. So you'd be amazed at the amount of bloopers. I'm no professional at this. I just film and edit it on my phone. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Healing Hikes this week. So I'm really excited today because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the Wilson's Prom Southern Circuit. We're going to be going to Sealers Cove for the night one, then heading on down to Refuge Cove, Little Waterloo Bay, and coming all the way back to Telegraph Saddle. So we're going to be doing a huge loop, Tidal River included. Tonight, I'm going to show you what's in my overnight pack, what I take on me on big, long, week-long adventures. So we'll empty out my pack and I'll show you what's inside. I'll also show you my setup for when I do have a camp, and I'll go through my weights. Believe it or not, it's only 7 kilos, and that's not including the bag and the water and my survival kit. So I've got my base weight down quite low. Then I'll show you my cook set and what I'm cooking for dinner. And tonight we are having some steak. And then for tomorrow, breakfast, and yeah, enjoy Wilson's Prom. I hope you're all well and happy hiking. Some of the features of this hike in particular are going to be rainforests, going to be the coastal beaches, big sandstone, rocky granites, boulders, river and creek crossings, big mountain and hill climbs, sand dunes. So there is quite a really good diverse amount of flora and fauna on this hike. Here's the track down and through this little fern gully. So we are approaching a rainforest region just before we hit Sealers Cove Beach. So if you're curious what this channel is all about and the purpose of the channel, it's for those that can't get out into nature, and for those with a disability, time constraints, financial constraints, even at the time coronavirus. So getting out in nature from the seat of your couch, showing people what there is to offer in Australia and what you can learn about this beautiful land or the land that you're from. So thanks heaps for watching, and yeah, it really means the world. There's our first shot of the beach in the distance. Here's the trail ahead. So we should be there not too long. So a couple weeks ago I did a video of the top 10 essentials for survival when hiking and camping. So tonight when I go through my pack and I'll load it out for you, let's see if you can count how many of those top 10 essentials I've packed and how many I've missed. And leave in your comment section below what you think was necessary, what was unnecessary, how I could make my pack lighter, what I've taken, what I've not taken. I'd love to hear your input and yeah, make us all better hikers and campers. Alright, so we've just climbed down Mount Wilson and now we're about to hit the Boardwalk, which will just be a short walk to Sealers Cove and where we'll be setting up camp for the night. So let's have a look at this beautiful boardwalk as it circles and loops and around the rainforest. Did you know that tree ferns can live up to 500 years old? It's really quite remarkable as we're walking through these giants that will just live forever. So Wilson's Prom is quite a windy spot. You can see all these trees have fallen over and they're repairing the boardwalk. Amazing. Alright, we made it to the beach, check it out. Alright, so we've got to cross this river in order to get up the hill to our campsite. So I do have hiking boots, Merrells, that are waterproof and have a waterproof membrane, but I don't want my shoes to be wet for the next day or even 12 hours. So I'm going to take them off, and I brought thongs. So let's cross this little river and get to our campsite. So what I've done is I've put some sticks out in the ground, or in the sand, and I'm going to use them as markers to see what's happening with the tide, whether the tide's going in or the tide's going out. And I do believe it's coming in, but I just want to double check, and then I can measure and see whether it's getting deeper or more shallow. Oh, we finally made it. We waited about half an hour to see what happened with the tide, and she just kept coming in and coming in. And it was pushing just after 3 o'clock, and I had to end up stripping down to my board shorts. So I had nothing on, my bottoms or my tops, and just carry my pack over my head all the way across that river. But yeah, we finally made it to the campsite. So I'll give you a tour, and then we'll unpack, we'll set up camp. Hopefully this rain holds off, because they are predicting some thunderstorm and even snowfall at 1,400 metres. Alright, so let's look for a campsite. So I'm amongst all these boulders right now. and they're really quite large and beautiful, and you can still see the beach from down there. So I think I might set up camp somewhere around here. I want it to be shielded by the wind, just obviously for cooking and protection. So yeah, we might pick around here. At least these can act as a wall. So it feels like it's just about to rain, so what we'll do is we'll quickly set up the tent, and then I'll give you a film of the gear, my pack, and dinner and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so what's happened is I've ended up setting up the tent quickly and putting my drop sheet down, and then it started thunder and lightning, so it's bucketing down at the moment, so I haven't even been able to set up my bed properly. I'm just laying in the bottom of the tent. Everything's a little bit still wet in here, so it hasn't gone to plan the way I want. I'll have to figure out a way I'm going to cook dinner and film that and show you guys what I'm going to be eating, because it is raining, so everything's going to be sort of improvised at the moment. We'll get back to you and we'll see what we're going to do. Well, good morning, guys. So what ended up happening last night is it just rained and thunderstormed all night. So we're on day 2 today, so we're on to Refuge Cove. Now I do promise today, if the weather holds off, I'll go through my pack measurements, my pack weights, everything I've got. I'll show you my cook system and all that kind of stuff. So let's hike on to Refuge Cove and then on to Little Waterloo Bay. Oh, so the journey continues today, and we reflect quietly about the day that had passed. It was a hard night, and I really wanted to go home. It rained on this morning, thunderstorms and rain, but you learn about yourself and you push on through, and that's what hiking does. It not only tests your own limits, your beliefs, your values, but it teaches you new ones as well. Which connects Australia's mainland to Tasmania. So there's Sealer's Cove in the distance. That's 90 Mile Beach. That's the Bass Strait. There's the trail. The beach is just through that little canopy there, so we're circling around the coast and up to that hill, so we'll have really good views up the top there. We're just walking through this dinosaur country, and the trail's just there. So the first time I actually did this hike, I was walking down to the lighthouse in the South Point, so the most southern tip of Victoria, Australia's mainland, and there was a black cat. Now, it got a shock, I got a shock, it ran off in the other direction. It was really scary at first, but anyways, so the black cat was just a domesticated black tabby cat, like just a small little cat. Didn't have much meat or much fat on it, and it really just could have been a kitten if anything. So yeah, I'm not sure how or why it was all the way down here. Obviously I hadn't seen a person in like 2, 3, 4 hours. You know, Tidal River, which is just a camping ground, is just, you know, the closest really, you know, humans. And oh, it was a big, very big strange find. But you know, you do see a lot of weird, crazy stuff on the trail. And I have heard about big actual black panthers and stuff, you know, running around out in the bush. So, you know, you hear about wild dogs and stuff as well. But yeah, almost at Refuge Cove now. Go. This is absolutely gorgeous. So let's get started. So before we do go on to all this stuff on my person, I always carry a flick blade, which has a fire steel in it and a striker. It has a torch, it has a whistle, and it's a really good utility tool as well. I also on my person carry a compass as well, a good heavy duty compass. Let's get started before everything blows away. Alright, so the bag that I have is a 4-class bag, and it's made in France, and it's tested on the trail throughout Europe, so like the Swiss Alps, Camino Trail and all that stuff. It's a great bag. On the front there's a dual zip that can open up back and down, so you can open the bag up from the top, or you can open the bag up from this top as well. On the top here there's some loop attachments, so you can get out like whatever stuff you want from the top. Then there's another zip on the top here, so if you want to get your stuff out from there. And then there's another zip and a pocket under there which has a pack cover and all that stuff. There's huge pockets on the side and another pocket there. There's also attachments. And then you go on to the bottom here, and this is where you'd put your sleeping bag. On the more of the bottom here is your tent with loop attachments there as well. On the side here there's a drink container storage, so if you want to put your bottle there. There's also hydration compatible. All the straps are adjustable, and there's even stuff on the hips as well for your pocket storage. And I have a survival kit that goes onto there. So great bag. Guess how much it cost? $105 at Decathlon. So the brand is 4-class, and they make good water resistant, tear resistant quality stuff. All right, so let's go on to what I actually keep in my bag. So first, you can see here I put it full of sand because it keeps blowing everywhere, but it's actually just a metal cooking saucepan. If you want to cook up the fryer, I've got a plate as well. Now remember, this all comes to 7 kilos. Now my bag and the water and the survival kit comes to 9 kilos, so that's 4 litres of water weighing 4 kilos. So everything here comes under 15 kilos. This solar panel only weighs 100 grams. Now, that's great for charging. I've got my battery packs in there, lay it out in the sun, 100 grams. The battery charges themselves, weigh about 500 grams. I've got a Donnellys solar panel light, which has different modes as well, and that's just charging right now in the sun. Also part of the cooking, I have a grill so I can chuck it on the fire. I also have a mini grill in here in case I want to just, you know, cook up my tea or my coffee. So that just slides in its own little nifty bag. That only weighs 120 grams as well. So everything I weigh and everything I write down before I go, what is a necessity and what is not. So remember, test me to see if I've got my top 10 essentials for hiking and survival. In my cooking kit and my food kit, I do label them, and they're a cotton bag. So in my cooking kit, it's really simple. I have a replica metal Alcatraz cup, which is just good for having cups of tea and stuff like that. Before this blows away, it's a Thermarest sleeping pad. This only weighs 500 grams, and it is so comfy. Thermalite, very good sleeping pad. I love a good night's sleep. Back to the cooking kit. So I carry 2 butane gas bottles, jet boil, always as a backup in case one fails. My cooking kit is a Pathfinder cooking kit. So it means it can go on the fire. So you get a 1 litre stainless steel bottle, which is tough as guts, and I've used that. That goes in my drink thing. It also comes with a standing stove, just like this, so you can put fire, kindling, gas, all that kind of stuff on there, and it sits on, you know, your grills can sit on there, or you can cook on top of that. I can put that on top of that. And same with my nesting cup. So my nesting cup comes with a handle. I can put that on the fire. It's all one kit that comes together. In here, I have a spoon, a fork, a knife, some tea, and the jet boil system, which screws onto the top there, which I'll show you later. So my cooking kit comprises of about 780 grams, and so everything is really lightweight, and it's versatile, has multi-use, can go on the fire. In my food bag, it's assorted. So last night we had steak, onion, and halloumi. I've still got some halloumi. So the steak was frozen, I defrosted it, but I've also got backcountry dehydrated meals. I always buy lots of them when I buy them, so I've always got heaps. I've got beef teriyaki, lamb Moroccan, all that kind of stuff in there. And it's just full of your general foods like granola, muesli, all that kind of stuff. I like taking my shoes off at the campsite. So thongs, trusty thongs, give my feet a bit of a rest. I have a pillow. A lot of people ask, what do you do as a pillow? So I have 2 options. You take a pillowcase and you fill it with 1 inflatable pillow, and then you put the rest of your clothes in there. So this is my clothes system. In here I just have layers. So I have like merino wool, I have some swimmers, some board shorts, and a pair of socks. I don't pack too much clothes. I make my clothes versatile, like a singlet, all that kind of stuff. All right, I have 1 woolen blanket, which is just about 300-400 grams. It's not that heavy, and it's great just to have something soft to sit on under your butt. And that I normally just pack in the top just in there. I have a first aid kit as well. So I made my own first aid kit. I've wrapped it in a garbage bag just so it's waterproof. But this weighs 505 grams, I do believe. So once again, weighing everything, it's got everything from wounds, all that course treatment. I've got a Gerber multi-tool. So Gerber make really good, strong, high-functioning equipment. So I've got 1 multi-tool there, as well as the blade. So on my person, I always do carry a flick blade, and I carry a compass. On my flick blade, it does have a fire steel and a whistle and a torch. So that's one like really good tool that I do love. All right, talking about survival. So this is a waist pocket. So it goes on the straps on the bag. It just slides onto there. And in here I have, you know, water purification kits, tablets. I have a fire steel. I have waterproof and windproof matches, a lighter. I have a fishing kit, another multi-tool. I have all my wallet, my money. I have lip gloss, because your lips get a bit dry on the trail. You know, just some Panadol, stuff like that. check out one of my videos on what my favourite piece of gear is, and my favourite piece of gear is the Shimag, and I go into over 100 uses for the Shimag, so that's really good. I've got another bit of beanie that I wear around the camp when it's night time. More water purification. I like having 3 ways of doing things. So this is a water life straw, so it can do 10,000 litres of water. There's also a 1 litre water bag there, so I can scoop the water out and drink it on the go when necessary. More illumination. I have a headlamp, and then I have also a pocket torch, as well as a torch that's already in my pocket. This weighs, I think it's 230 grams, and it's a rain jacket, and it folds into a nice pocket storage just like this. So that's really, really good and versatile. Over here is a ground sheet and a tarp. So it's 3 by 3 meters. Now last night I didn't set it up because it was already raining, everything was wet, so I set the tent up, got inside that. But yeah, this weighs, I think it weighs 760 grams, but that's including rope and pegs. If I take the rope and pegs out, it's only about 400 or 500 grams. So that's a really good tarp to have. 3 litre water container, Camelback, just goes on my back nice and easy. And last but not least, it's 2 last things. I have a laminated copy of a map wherever I go. So it is waterproof, it doesn't matter, and it's a copy of what I'm doing, where I'm going. Now, last but not least is my favourite. It's a down sleeping bag. It's 900 grams. It can get me to a -9 and a -27 comfort extreme. Really good down sleeping bag, 900 grams, packs down tiny. Where's that drink bottle gone? So you could see 1 litre container, and I could probably pack that even smaller. So how did I go? I'm sure there's things I've missed, but there's also, you know, like other stuff there that I've probably gone into a little bit much. But let me know how I went, whether I had the top 10 essentials for hiking and survival. Leave a comment below, tell me if I've packed too much or not enough. There's a lot of stuff there. I do love comfort, so I do love, you know, a woolen blanket and wearing thongs around the campsite. But I hope you're all well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hike on to Refuge Cove and cook up something, and then we'll go to Little Waterloo Bay and we'll set up camp for the night. How beautiful is this beach? I feel like I've just been transported to Gilligan's Island or Robinson Crusoe or one of those really tropical, you know, destinations out in the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, that's it. Onwards and upwards to Refuge Cove Camp. Refuge Cove Camp. Alright, so we just finished doing the pack loadout, and the rain's come in over this beach. It's really gentle, it's just a really nice drizzle. But onwards to Refuge Cove, and it might end up being a little bit of a refuge as well. Let's get on back on the trail. Alright, we've come into Refuge Cove, so let's check it out. How beautiful is Refuge Cove? I say it every time, how beautiful. Oh, we're so lucky to live in Australia. It's amazing. Refuge Cove is well known for a place where you would come with a boat or a yacht or anything like that and just come and relax. So here are all boat names of boats people have left. So I'll give you a closer up look, and yeah, it's kind of like a tradition as well. So the boat names and signs. Sort of goes around the back here as well. Years and years of decades of boats. This is the hikers campsite. This can have at least 30 to 40 tents, and it's a lot more bigger. It looks like there's some drop toilets in the background, so I'll give you a quick look around, and it looks like there's a little creek or a river running through here as well, so you've got sort of like that running water, but it would need to be purified as well. So this Refuge Cove campground for the hikers is a lot more sheltered, as you can see, from the rain and the thunder and even the wind. So Sealers Cove was a lot more open and you were a lot more caught in it. So, and there's probably more campsites here than Sealers as well. Alright, so now we're going to be embarking on our journey to Little Waterloo Bay. So there's the trail ahead. We're going to climb up this rock and up there. How beautiful is Refuge Cove? It's such a nice little tranquil little spot where you can just set up, and those granite boulders on the side really just take you way back to a time when there would have been the big giants, the dinosaurs. Ah, gorgeous. There was the trail down and up. So it's funny, upon reflection, the first time I ever did this hike, I did it in one night. I went from Tidal River, South Point, Little Waterloo Bay, Refuge, Sealers and back, all in the one night. And reflecting on my pack and how it's changed. That time when I did it, I had a 30-litre pack. I had my sleeping bag, my tent, all of it just hanging off the outside, so it's just swaying and throwing me around. I had barely enough room for my clothes or my food on the inside, and I just packed all this unnecessary stuff. And it's amazing how times change as you get more experience on the trail and things become lighter and more effective. I didn't even know what a pack cover was at the time, and that's obviously something, you know, to stop your gear from getting wet when it's raining. So big lessons learned on that hike. Pack light, pack efficient, make sure you have multi-purpose items. What's something that you've learnt on the trail? Number one tip. I'd love to hear. Well, the rain's been threatening on and off the last 2 days really, besides last night. So I've got my pack cover on. So we're almost at Little Waterloo Bay, and I'll show you my tent setup, and I'll also show you a way that I would set up a tarp for the tent when it was raining, if it's raining heavily. So I will set up for that scenario. And then we've got a choice of either Moroccan lamb, chicken tikka masala, or beef and pasta hot pot, with some couscous as well. I brought couscous because you can either have it cold or hot, and it's easy to cook and it's lightweight. And I got some hummus cheese for an entree as well. So we'll cook all that up. And still haven't eaten today. Forgot about eating at Refuge Cove. So yeah, almost at Little Waterloo now. This has got to be the biggest fern I've seen in my life that I can recall. Though I'm 6'2", that's at least 4 of me. So that's 186 centimeters times 4. So it's easy 4, 5, 6 meters. Nice. Wow. Wow. You've been so patient. Thank you so much for watching. Here's Little Waterloo Bay, our first glimpse, and then I'll give you some close-up looks. Here we go. So we've arrived at the campsites. So let's have a look at where we're going to pitch up the tent for the night. And yeah, we'll get some food into us, and I'll show you my tent and tarp setup as well. Alright, I think we'll set up here. So there's some really good tree cover. There's also no one here. And down here is the river. And there's a running tap, so the water does need to be cleaned. I'll go show you some of the other sites just before we start. It's flooded, and you can see why they make those big benches for you to pitch your tent on. There's the drop toilet facility. So this is just before we have the tarp put on. So you can see I get my bag off the ground straight away, hanging up in a tree. I try and get some wood and some logs for some seats. And this tent itself is June, the brand. I didn't choose the camo, it's the only type that it comes in. It's big enough for me to sit in. It weighs about 1 kilo, about 1,300 with pegs and rope, and it only needs 2 poles either end, and it needs about, you can do about 6 pegs, or you can do 4 if you want. You don't really need them, you can actually just pull it out. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll get the tarp set up. So I'm going to put it down. We're expecting thunderstorms and rain, so I'll show you what we're going to do there. Alright, so let's have a look at my setup. So yeah, normally I'd just chuck out the tent just like it was, but we're expecting rain, so I'd cover it in that tarp and I'd pin it one end down to the ground and leave another end up. And if I can, I would find some logs like I have, and one for a seat and one for a table, and I have my cooking kit out, so we'll cook up some halloumi and some couscous and some Moroccan lamb now, and we'll purify that water. But yeah, coming around, and then I've got my shamag there. I can use that as a towel, one of its versatile things, and then I've got the thongs. And yeah, in my setup, as you know, I've got the 900 gram down sleeping bag, and I've got my Thermalite mattress and my bag. I would put the pack cover on it, and I would put it at the end, and I can sit up comfortably in there. And yeah, it just gives me that little bit of extra cover. So, and also on the guidelines, so these ropes are guidelines, I would have just my little torch on a carabiner. And yeah, so we'll get purifying some water now. So what I'll do is I come over to my survival kit. I call it a survival kit. It's just full of all necessary items for surviving. So I'll get out the purification tablets. So in here, it's all different kind of stuff. Have a look at my video on my YouTube channel about survival kits. So I've got one neutralizer which gets rid of the iodine flavour, and then 2 of those. So you need 2 tablets per 1 litre. So I've got a 3 litre Camelback, so I'll be using 6 tablets there. And then I've got a 1 litre Pathfinder. Alright, so let's get cooking and purifying. Last night, unfortunately, due to the poor visuals and the thunderstorms, you weren't able to see me cook up my steak with halloumi and onions and eat it. I also had some couscous as well, so we'll probably have couscous tonight. Now, couscous is great because you can have it cold or hot, just needs to soak for 10 to 15 minutes. Also, we'll try a dehydrated meal. I've got plenty of these at home. Moroccan lamb with a bit of couscous. I'm going to cut up some halloumi just in the silver tray. We'll get some halloumi or saganaki underway right now, and that'll be a good little entree. Also, as an entree, we're just going to do some hot chocolate with powdered milk. So I like to try and have everything organised in its sections with tea, coffee. I don't try and make, you know, the idea that I'm living on the trail that I can't enjoy my food. You know, I take a plate. I try and eat really well. The Pathfinder cooking system is great. You know, I can throw it on the fire. It comes with its own little personal stand cooking grill. And yeah, there's not much more I can say. We're going to cook up and have a good meal. All right, so the hot chocolate's all good and ready, and I've got extras in here. I've got my utility tool out because I just use that to grab onto the side here. And yeah, my halloumi cheese is cooking up, so that should be ready in not too long. And then we'll get the main meal underway, the Moroccan lamb. So I'll show you the label. Alright, and that's the brand, 1 serving. So you just add boiling water to it and wait. And we'll also mix in a bit of couscous there. So the grilled halloumi is all ready to eat. Looks amazing, smells even better. Alright, so we're just waiting for the water to boil. We're going to have some Moroccan lamb. I brought my own Moroccan herbs and salt and pepper from home as well, so we're going to add a little bit of extra flavour in there. we're going to add some extra couscous as well. So for those that have never had a dehydrated meal, it comes in a package just like this. You rip off the top, then you add 220 mils of boiling water. You can add, like I said, whatever else you like. So I'll show you inside the container and then we'll get cooking. So this is what it looks like inside. It's not the best, but it is just dehydrated vegetables and meat and stuff that you can see there. So I've just added the water in. Now we're just going to wait 10 minutes and I'll show you what it ended up looking like. All right, we've waited 10 minutes. Let's have a look how this dehydrated meal turned out. Let's have a look inside. So it's a bit soggy, but there's no measurements on the inside showing you how much to put in water. All right. It smells really good though, but I did put in some extra herbs. Oh, yeah, it's quite thick actually. Actually tastes really, really good. There's a lot of really good flavours happening there. All right, so tomorrow we're waking up, little Waterloo Bay. We're going to go look at Waterloo Bay. We're going to go to Telegraph Junction. We might head on to Tidal River or we might go up to Telegraph Saddle. We're not sure yet. But so we're just having a cup of tea before we go to bed or set up for the night. Look at that red in the sky over there in the distance. It kind of looks like something's on fire, doesn't it? It's just the sunset. So must be really nice and red and pink over there. But what we do have is we have a rainbow in the background here. I'll give you some shots of little Waterloo Bay as the sun sets. Here comes the rain. All right, let's get back to camp. We might actually call it a night there. And so what we're going to do is get up in the morning and we're going to hike. I'll show you the setup in the morning. We'll go to Telegraph Junction and then up to Tidal River and then perhaps on to Telegraph Saddle after that where the car is waiting.
Good morning. Oh, it looks like a beautiful day today.
We're all packed up. It took about half an hour or so, but yeah, it's sad. I really had a really good time at Little Waterloo Bay, and I thought we had a really nice, beautiful setup, and dinner was great, and the beach is right there. You can hear the waves all night. But yeah, lucky because it's starting to rain now. So what we're going to do is we'll go check out that beach, and then yeah, one last look, and then we're going to walk. I just believe it's about 12 or 13 kilometres today. And yeah. All right, one last look at Little Waterloo Bay. Absolutely beautiful this morning. It's gorgeous. It started raining, so I just packed up my campsite just in time. So oh, you'd be amazed at the amount of bloopers. I'm no professional at this. I just film and edit it on my phone. All right. Well, anyway, it's the first time I ever came to Wilson's Prom. This is where I slept, and you can see that it floods. I got in at about 7 o'clock, so it was already dark and it wasn't raining. But in my defense, all the sites were full of school kids. Like, there was a school camp here, so that was the last site. But anyways, onwards and upwards we march. Blue skies are now coming out, which is great. And I'm all dry. But anyways, we're on to Waterloo Bay. And yeah, I guess I'll show you Waterloo Bay. In the distance there, in the centre, is the southernmost tip part of Victoria and the lighthouse station. And this is the trail ahead, passing this massive boulder. Beautiful. I forgot to mention, I'm not having breakfast. I don't normally have breakfast. I've got granola and fruits and all that kind of stuff, and tea and coffee and, you know, usually bars. But yeah, just not really in the mood. Just want to get on the trail and get hiking. And if we get hungry, we'll eat when we're on the trail then. All right, almost at Waterloo Bay. So we're slowly coming up to Waterloo Bay, and the sand here is so white. It's absolutely amazing. I'll give you a closer up look. Sand down in Wilson's Prom is so white. It's really cool to see, and it's like a real fine granule. So sand is normally quite fine, as you know, but this is even smaller. This is, yeah. All right, so we're walking in between a massive gorge at the moment. Big mountains either side. You can see that one in the distance there, and that other one in the background, which has the fog all on the top of the peak, which is really cool to see. And then on the left hand side of us here, we've got Waterloo Bay. So we've got about a 2.5 hour walk ahead of us. There you go. Absolutely stunning. So lucky and grateful. So yeah, we've got a 2.5 hour walk ahead of us, and then we'll get to Telegraph Saddle. I'm actually starting to really feel like a cup of coffee. I haven't had a coffee in 7 or 8 weeks, and I had one at my mum's before I left to come here, and she had this like salted caramel jarrah coffee powder, and it was, oh, salted caramel coffee. I feel like that. All right, back on the trail. through this sort of like swampland surrounded by these mountains. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to the people that built this, because it's like 2 meters from the ground, and then they would have had to dug it into the ground as well, like coals and stuff. So yeah, nah, it's pretty big as well. It's a couple 100 meters, so thank you. So it's been raining for about 45 minutes, really heavy. My hat even blew away. So it's getting really hard. The visualizations, it's really cloudy and stuff, so it's getting hard to see, let alone film. And I don't want my phone to get wet. So I'll be filming as limited as possible, but we still have another 10Ks to go. So I'll try and get as much done as I can for you. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world. Oh, and what do you know? We've made it to Telegraph Junction. And here's the Parks Rangers cars. So there's the sign that says to Waterloo Bay, Refuge Cove, Sealers Cove. So we've just done all that. Here's the other sign that says Oberon Bay, Telegraph Saddle Car Park, Roaring Meg Camp and Lighthouse Station. So yeah, they're pretty lucky. They've got their own little driveway down here. I think it's used for fires mainly, and just for maintenance. Alright, well let's get back on the trail. It's raining. There's a wallaby ahead of us, just on the trail. Put his head up. He's having a look. Hello, wallaby. Sorry about the camera moving, but obviously I'm walking. He's not doing much. 10 meters away now. And there he goes. Is he eating or drinking something? Probably having a drink. Alright, and that's the view. These beautiful mountains. It's a shame they're covered by the fog, but they did say that there would be snow 1,400 meters, no, 1,100 meters today. So these peaks suddenly get up to about 800, 900 I think max, maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, cool to think that there's snow in spring. So you can see Mount Oberon in the background. It's covered in the snow clouds, because as I said, we're expecting snow at 1,100 meters today. So yeah, up there. I'll show you a photo of what it does look like, and then yeah, we'll continue marching on. it's all over. The journey ends. Wilson's Prom, you have been beautiful, magnificent, and brought on some really big winds and rain and thunder and sunny clouds. So right now I'm just at the overnight hikers car park. So I'll grab it. This is a specific spot just for the overnight hikers, and you have to put a permit on your car. Anyways, thanks heaps for watching, and yeah, I really appreciate it. It really means the world. So next week we're going to go on a really big hike, all the same, just as iconic. I hope you're all well and happy hiking. It started raining, so I just packed up my campsite just in time. So oh, you'd be amazed at the amount of bloopers. I'm no professional at this. I just film and edit it on my phone.